I've been in a lot of bar fights.
Yeah.
Never dropped somebody.
You'll see it like ripple all the way through my tricep. Like it'll get like a jiggle. Like, bro, I want to elbow motherfuckers. I want to knee them in their face. I want to kick them in their face. Like,
I mean, you're known for knocking people out
yeah,
fast.
yeah.
How do you do it?
I'm a complete mixed martial artist. Like, I want to use all the tools. I used to picture Mortal Kombat. When I hit you, your head shatters.
I mean, you're known for knocking people out
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
How do you do it? I've been in a lot of bar fights.
Yeah.
Never dropped somebody.
That's crazy.
Hey, I hit. Just doesn't connect, buddy.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's part of the problem. You got to connect to be able to put somebody out. Yeah, I think. I just think this is where I credit my father. I got to start so young, so my understanding is better than someone who just started. I understand rotating my hips and landing at one time and having speed. It's not all about just power, but it's speed, it's timing, it's the perfect shot. When you land that perfect shot, you'll feel a whip right through your body. You'll feel it's almost like a snap, like boom, like a whip crack, and you'll feel it. It's like a wave. It like travels up. You'll see like the whip in your muscle. If you watch some of my fights after this and you see like some of the shots that I hit people with, you'll see it like ripple all the way through my tricep. Like it'll get like a jiggle, like boom. And it's so I think that's part of it, and everybody at this level has knockout power, and they're all good. And they're all
Where's
dangerous.
the placement?
The placement? I mean, listen, temple, ear, this is probably the most dangerous one. And then if you can catch that chin, because really all a knockout is your brain bouncing off your skull and then you go unconscious. It's your body's way of protecting you. Or at least that's what I think. I'm not a fucking
Doesn't seem like good protection.
It's not, because then you're fucking defenseless. But yeah, so I just have a really good understanding, and I always prided myself in power. I actually never knocked anybody out. I've dropped people before that, and I've hurt people, but I never really knocked anybody out until I knocked out the first guy in my amateur fight. So I won that fight, and then I fought again, knocked that guy out, made my pro debut, knocked that guy out. Fought another fight, won a decision.
How did you make your pro debut?
So I made my pro debut. I was 4-1 as an amateur, and I just felt held back. I was like, bro, I want to elbow motherfuckers. I want to knee them in their face. I want to kick them in their face. Like, I'm a complete mixed martial artist. Like, I want to use all the tools. I felt so held back with, like, when you're an amateur until you become an advanced amateur, you can kick the legs without shin guards, but you can't kick them in the face. If you drop somebody in the amateurs with the shin guards, you can't hit them in the face. You can only hit them in the body. I'm like, well, what the fuck's the point in dropping them? So I made sure when I hit people, I just had to fucking put them out in one shot. And it was the intention. My intention was to actually, like, I used to picture Mortal Kombat. When I hit you, your head fucking shatters. And I still had that rage. I still had that anger. So when I was hitting you, I was putting everything into every shot. And it paid off. Now it doesn't pay off because you got guys that are defensively responsible. They know how to weather the storm, and they have good game plans, and they've been there, done that against guys who everybody hits hard. So it's a little bit different now. You have to really be technical to get that shot. But I was ready to make my pro debut. At this point, I already got Sam came on board. Sam Orpisa, who's very monumental as to why my hands are as good as they are. He came on board for my 4th amateur fight against that guy that I told you was talking shit on me. His name was Adam Attia. Complete fucking loser. And yeah, so I beat him. I had Sam. Sam used to fucking make me show up at 3 a.m. just to see if I would show up. Make 5 a.m., 6 a.m., drive all the way to Philly, 40 minutes, just to see if I would show up. And I did it time and time again. And I kept asking him and begging him to coach me, and I finally got him on board, and I told him I would do whatever it takes, to be successful at this, and I'll wake up at any hour. I don't give a fuck what time it is, let's do it. And I did that. And he definitely tested that. And, I just started improving, getting better and getting better and getting better. I would say where I developed the slowest, though, was the diet. I didn't have money to really, like, eat super, super clean like I do now. But, yeah, I made my pro debut and fucking smashed the dude. I mounted him and fucking, I was just, bing. This is where I say I wouldn't stop if there wasn't a ref at that time, because I was so anger-filled. Mm-hmm. That I would, like, get off on fucking hurting people. So I remember I was sitting on top. I fucking was beating his ass for, like, I did it in the first round, but I was beating his ass, and I fucking took him down, threw him down. I already cut him with an elbow on his head, and I fucking mounted him, and I postured up and just started hitting him. And the dumbest thing he could have done was try to hit me back. And then I wound up hitting him, and his eyes rolled. And I must have hit him like 8 times before the ref got me off, and he was like, He was like crucified, like out, and I just kept fucking hitting him. Like I wouldn't stop.
Damn.
And the ref like threw me off, and that was my pro debut. It was probably one of my favorite wins because just how violent it was. And, like you could see the anger and shit like that. And for me, it wasn't just anger towards my father and my life, but it was anger towards like, you motherfuckers don't think I'm gonna make it, and I'm coming. So that was my pro debut. Then I fought my second fight against a guy who fought in Bellator, who had like a lot more experience than me, and I beat his ass, dominated him. It was so slippery. I definitely could have finished the fight, but it was so slippery and humid in there. I remember I couldn't like fucking place my feet or anything, and I won a decision, and then I won all finishes. I was 6-0. Won my first title for Art of War. This company called venue called Art of War. And then I lost my first fight because
What's Sam thinking leading up to this?
leading up to what?
To your first loss? I mean, you're just crushing it.
He knew I was more than ready. I was more than ready, but I didn't let him know where I was mentally. I was suicidal again.
You were suicidal through the wins?
Yeah. Yeah, I was angry, man. It was eating me up. I hadn't forgiven my father. I hated my life. Like, I still wasn't making any money. You know, you basically fight for free, bro, all the way up until you get to the UFC. You know, they might give you $2,000, maybe, and that's as a professional with like fight experience. You know, when you're an amateur, you don't get paid a purse. You only get ticket sales, and I didn't sell any tickets for my first 3. So I wound up owing money because I would spend the money I needed to fucking survive, you know, before I was living with Harmon. But then, you know, I think I made 500 my first pro fight, maybe 700, or maybe 350, something like that. I don't remember what it was. And, but I started picking up some sponsorships, so it made it a little easier, you know, and Sam didn't just coach me. Sam, he was a fighter too. He fought in Bellator. He was 13-3 as a professional, a very successful MMA guy. But then he had a kid, and then he had another kid, and just like fighting was not feasible if you lost. And he lost one of his last fights as an MMA fighter, and it just didn't make sense for him to do it anymore.
I mean, when you say suicidal, how suicidal are you talking about?
Bro,
Thinking about it every day, multiple times a
Yeah,
day?
every day. I just had this dark cloud over me. Like I started feeling worthless because I had the problem with, now that I'm a fighter, my identity is fighting. And then I forgave my father. Like I tried to let go of it right before I was 6-0, right before my 7th fight, professional fight. I'd already won a title, Art of War. Then I went to this company called Ring of Combat, which were awesome, and I won the title there. And mind you, I was finishing everybody in the first round. I only had one decision, so I knocked everybody the fuck out and won the belt in like 50 seconds or something. Like smashed this guy. And then I was fighting a guy who honestly wasn't really that good. He was like 6-4 at the time, or 5-4, or 5-3, something like that. And I was 6-0. And I was supposed to fight a guy who was 10-3, but he was a replacement because the guy pulled out, got hurt or something. And it was the first time I ever walked into a fight, and I was like, there was no music that could hype me. There was no people that could motivate me. And I was just like, I don't want to do this. It was the weirdest fucking feeling, man. It was the weirdest feeling. And it was the first time that I had my girl's family come and watch me, because we didn't like each other at first. They didn't like me. I didn't like them. You know, I'm the disgruntled, angry kid who used to fight kids and fucking was an angry kid, and they didn't want me with their daughter type shit. And, you know, I didn't blame them. Looking back, I don't blame them at all. And I love their family. You know, they are family to me. And the Kaka family is probably another godsend. Not even probably, they are a godsend. They've been wonderful people. So I walked out there, man, was trashing this fucking guy, dominating him and everything, and then I fucking was tired. I had his back, I had mount, but I didn't have the finishing mentality. So I wasn't trying to ground and pound like to get him out of there. I was just trying to control him, and I don't know why. And it still fucking bothers me because, like, bro, I took him down at will, I dominated and everything. So then I took a shot. I was already tired. I blew my nut. I was done. And I didn't have anything to fight for. I didn't know what I was fighting for. First time it ever happened to me. Didn't have the anger. Didn't have the fucking let me prove everybody wrong. And I fucking took a shot, like slipped, like kind of like did a split. And I was against the cage, and he stuck a guillotine, and I didn't tap and got put to sleep. Wake up and fucking, that was the first time I was devastated. And I was fucking crying, looking at myself in the mirror like, what a fucking loser, what a pussy, and all these things. And just like real negative. And, you know, that's where that girl is very special, you know.
I mean, did you talk to anybody about suicidal tendencies, or
Not before that.
you just
No, just bottled it up. I was always used to handling emotions on my own.
one
So
foot in
I
front of
didn't
the
tell
other?
Harmon. I didn't tell Sam. I didn't tell, I told Harmon about the abuse at home, but I would never tell him about suicide. I would never tell him about depression because I thought it was weak to talk about it as a man. And when it's not, there's nothing wrong with talking about it, especially if you're struggling with it. So after that, I did. And, I got myself right and I came back and I also went and got a different look from another team because the team that I was training at, which was Balance Studios, they're an amazing jiu-jitsu school, but they are not an MMA program school. And at least to make it to that level, to the UFC level. And so I went out to Colorado and trained with a team called Elevation. I went and trained with Neil Magny, who's in the UFC. Been a long time vet, whatever, and I got a different look, was training at altitude, came back, got another second round knockout and got my mind right, got myself physically right, like was lifting and eating right and doing all these things. And I just started going on a tear. And then I got that Contender Series fight
How did that come on your plate?
after my return. So I lost, then I won, and then I got the Contender Series fight. And so now I'm 7-1, and I go to fight this guy, Stoltzfus, who I broke my arm against.
I mean, did they approach you?
Yes. So they approached my management. Well, my management approached them with my record. You have a manager that goes, who I've signed with since I was 1-0. His name's Lloyd Pearson, and I've been with him. He's under Vayner Sports, and I've been with him since I was 1-0. It's like, and he doesn't take people that are that young in their career. But Chandler had initially done a documentary that was about my life trying to get into the UFC, but it was deleted because we just redid it once the story made sense when I got in the UFC. But anyway, nonetheless, they saw the documentary. Eddie Alvarez I was close with, who was in the UFC, former champion. He was a champion in Bellator, champion in UFC, fought and won. Fought Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, fucking all kinds of people. Rafael Dos Anjos is who he beat to win the belt. So anyway, Lloyd manages Eddie, and then that's how that connection happened, and then they signed me at 1-0. So Lloyd paid for me to go out to Denver. That's how I got to go out there because I didn't have the money for it. Gave me a car and everything, and me and my girl went out there, and so it was a good experience for me. But yeah, so he contacted the UFC. The UFC offered me a fight against this guy who was 12-1, which was Dustin Stoltzfus. I go out there and I fight him. And I had Sam Orpisa, and I had one of my best friends at the time in my corner. That was it. I had one real coach. I had no training partners. It was just me and him. And it was during COVID. So it was bad. It sucked. And so I go out there and I fight, and I lost. I broke my elbow, get put in an ambulance. Don't get to meet Dana White. All he posts is like, oh yeah, Joe had a dislocation. He'll be fine, because that's all we thought it was at first. Turns out I exploded the radial head in my elbow, which was like, I can turn my hand like this, but I can't turn my hand like this. So now I can't power clean. I can't turn my hand. My arm doesn't go straight. When I had my first surgery, so before I skip to that, I got an ambulance. I'm fucking crying, and I'm like, dude, I did 20 years in this fucking sport to fail. And I remember asking God, like, why? What the fuck am I supposed to learn from this? What is the point? And da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Victim mentality. And, had I just been patient and realized that no storm lasts forever, I would be okay. But went to another dark place again. And I got the first surgery, but they told me you'd never fight again. They were like, you're done. You're not fighting again. Like, you'll dislocate it even easier now.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.